You see, Mr. Bond, you can't kill my dreams, but my dreams can kill you. Time to face destiny.
Time to face gravity.
I'm gonna wake up, yes and no. I'm gonna kiss some part of I'm gonna keep this secret. I'm gonna close my body now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Real Screen Team. I'm Andrew Thomas. I'm here with fellow Bond Christopher Johnson.
Hello, everyone.
And we finished Pierce Brosnan's era with his last movie. And sadly lackluster.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it was actually my first Bond film. I was a young child. I was dumb.
Yep.
I was stupid. I didn't have taste yet. It's just like with Batman and Robin all over again.
Yeah.
Though I've come around on Batman Forever.
Mm-hmm.
I've come around on that.
Yeah.
But I guess let's end an era
Yeah.
with Die Another Day.
Good.
Die Another Day is a 2022 spy film and the 20th film in the James Bond series produced by Eon Productions. The film is an original story, although it takes influence from Bond creator Ian Fleming's novels Moonraker and The Man with the Golden Gun. The film was produced by Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli, directed by Lee Tamahori, and written by Neil Purvis and Robert Wade. The film stars Pierce Brosnan in his fourth and final film as James Bond, alongside Halle Berry, Toby Stevens, Rosamund Pike, Rick Yoon, John Cleese, and Judi Dench. This would be the only film to feature John Cleese as Q, and the final film appearance of Samantha Bond as Miss Moneypenny, as the franchise would be rebooted in the next film. This would also be the first film since Live and Let Die in 1973 to not feature Desmond Llewellyn.
Mm-hmm. Now the synopsis.
Okay. James Bond is captured by North Korean agents and must serve a grueling 14-month prison sentence. He's finally released and is convinced that someone in his own agency betrayed him. He escapes from custody and travels to Cuba, hot on the heels of Zhao, the agent who put Bond behind bars. Meanwhile, Bond begins romancing NSA agent Jinx as they uncover a scheme concocted by Zhao and British millionaire Gustav Graves, involving a highly destructive laser.
It had some formula of a good plot. It just wasn't executed right.
Yeah. Things could have been so much better. It really could have. There were some semblance of what could have been, a truly good classic to form Bond story, but things got a bit too convoluted. Mm-hmm. To the point that even Mr. Camp himself, Mr. I literally went to space and straight up launched the villain into space after shooting him with a poison dart in the chest, while my friends and his henchmen are having a laser fight in space, says, well, this is just too silly. You all went too far. Roger Moore. Remember all the weird stuff we've talked about. You know, not just the space stuff, all the stuff Roger Moore did. Even though I do love Roger Moore. He is fantastic. He said this film was too much. That his suspension of disbelief flew out the window. You know you failed. You know you failed.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess when we get into the cast,
Yeah.
starting with the man himself, with his reign ending with a whimper rather than a bang, James Bond, played by Pierce Brosnan. At least Pierce still did fantastic. I mean, even if he's not even fully feeling it, like at least one of, what was it, Tomorrow Never Dies? That he wasn't necessarily feeling too much?
I think so.
He still put on a great performance.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't, even if he wasn't necessarily feeling it, he still put his all into it. And Brosnan is still in top form here.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate he didn't have the best script to work off of. But we do still see how awesome of a Bond he is and how much of a smooth operator he is. But it does kind of suck to see him being the only Bond to ever be captured for an extended period of time and be tortured.
Until the reboot.
Oh, well, yes. Yes.
Where Craig does get captured a lot and tortured a lot.
Well, yes, his torturing is much more gruesome.
Yeah.
Though, did he ever spend an extended period of time captured?
Don't know.
Because Pierce, it was a year and 2 months.
Yeah.
And really, it took you this long to get him back? Really? This has really started my whole idea that M, no matter which M, has always found a way to screw over each Bond. In one way, shape, or form. I think the only one that didn't necessarily get truly screwed over was Connery.
Yeah.
And maybe Lazenby.
Yeah.
Everybody else got screwed over at least once. I mean, your thoughts?
Yeah. Pierce did a great job as always. Although he lets his affection for women get him in trouble. Especially when one of them's one of the evil Bond girls.
Very true.
Yeah.
Even though we'll get into it when we get to her. It's also weird that Pierce, this was the one where he didn't necessarily show any cold-bloodedness. You know, every other film leading up to this, he had that moment of, I'm taking you out. But this one, he didn't really have that moment.
No.
It was either him trying to evade things, trying to survive, or someone else trying to save him.
Yeah.
Or him trying to save someone else.
Yep.
He really didn't get to have that true, like, I'm sick and tired of you, I'm ready to take you out, and I might take a little bit of glee in it.
Yeah.
But then again, how are you able to do that while you're being electrocuted by a freaking electromagnetic glove in the midst of a fight? So, but no Bond is complete without a Bond girl. And we must go into his final Bond girl.
Mm-hmm.
Gianna Cinta Jenks Johnson, played by Halle Berry.
Our second time reviewing a movie with her in it this year.
Not the second time.
In the franchise. Well, she was
second
actually,
time for a franchise.
Yeah.
I believe it's the 5th film overall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, a lot of people are recurring this year.
Yeah.
Halle did her best.
Yeah.
She did her best. Though this is the period of time where post-Oscar win,
Yeah.
you start to see the downward trajectory of her career and the films that she's in.
Yeah.
And that is very unfortunate because Halle Berry is a great actress.
Starting with Catwoman.
Was this
Catwoman was like in 2002.
Oh God, this was the same year.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh. And what, Gothica was after this?
Yeah.
Halle, why didn't you fire your agent? Halle, why? You're so much better than this, Halle. Did you fire your agent?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. And also, oh yeah, even though we don't hate that film anymore, X-Men The Last Stand.
Mm-hmm.
She just was taking L after L. She was
Yeah.
taking more L's than Meek Mill and Drake.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But she tried her best with this one.
Mm-hmm.
She did. She had her moments of actually being cool, and she was actually the one that got to be cold-blooded.
Yeah.
Really?
And also became the damsel a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, as you do. As
yeah.
you do. But, hey, she still had a mouth on her, even
Yeah.
while being captured. And, the old trope of death by laser.
Mm-hmm.
Death by cutting laser.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have to say some of the lines she was given did not do her any favors. But Halle definitely did stand her own with Pierce. They definitely did have chemistry romantically.
Mm-hmm.
Though it did feel a little stilted when they were doing something non-romantic.
Yeah.
But, of course, this also led to quite possibly the most graphic of lovemaking scenes in the Bond franchise, which I'm like, did you all miss the point of the whole Bond thing? The sexy part is the stuff leading up to it or post. No, you don't go too far into it. And you went way too far into it. I did not need to see both of their O faces. I mean, maybe not necessarily not too upset about Halle, but I did not want to see Pierce Brosnan's. I mean, your thoughts?
Yeah, I couldn't care for the part either.
And, I mean, also your thoughts on Halle as Jinx.
She had some good moments. Mainly the sexiness part, but other than that, not great of a spy, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I would truly have to agree with you. And to think, she almost got her own spin-off franchise if this film had been successful.
Mm-hmm.
That does make me wonder, if given a better script, would we be talking about a Jinx franchise right now? One of the greatest what ifs.
Yeah.
But you have a Bond. You have a Bond girl. Do we talk about the Bond villain? Or villains? Or do we go into...
Well, allies first and then the Bond villains.
Okay. Well, I guess... Yeah, go into the MI6 crew. Starting with M, played by Judi Dench. Way to screw over people again, huh, M?
Yep.
This apparently has been the era of how many people can I screw over and potentially cause the world to go into chaos.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong, Judi Dench is fantastic as M. There's a reason why she got carried over into the reboot. Though also there she screwed over the next incumbent Bond, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But really, you're going to leave Bond for dead in North Korea for a year and 2 months? What the hell, Em? What's up with that?
Yeah.
What's up with that? I mean, this is... It's already bad enough that your predecessor didn't want Timothy Dalton to avenge Felix Leiter. God, I think the numerous of situations Roger Moore had to end up getting involved in, despite the fact that you thought he shouldn't get involved. How have you survived this long? How has MI6 survived this long? And also, beef up your security. How was Bond able to escape so easily when initially you couldn't trust him because you thought that he snitched on you all and you revoked his license to kill? For all of what? Couple days?
Yeah.
And then, oh no, you on the trail of the main villain. So, here you go. License to kill, reinstated, go meet Q, get your gadgets.
Yeah.
I mean, your thoughts on Judy?
She did great despite the fact that her as Emma is still a terrible person.
Yeah. The script did her no favors.
Yeah. Like she didn't learn from her last mistake in the last one.
Yeah, where she got captured and nearly killed.
Yeah.
Though that was on her
as
well. That was on her as well. But since we brought him up, Q, played by John Cleese. He actually didn't do bad.
Yeah.
He truly felt like Q, but it wasn't Desmond Llewellyn.
No.
It wasn't. And that's no knock on the next Q we get, because I think for that era, he truly did it fantastic, despite the fact we didn't really get to see him too much. This was that weird in-between time where we're trying to find someone that can carry on the legacy. Cleese did his best, but it wasn't... It felt like something was missing. And that's no knock on John Cleese either. I'm a fan of Monty Python. Man's fantastic. He's one of the few of the crew we have left. But... He did his best. Like I said, script. I mean, your thoughts?
Yeah. He did good for what he had.
And getting to the receptionist herself. Miss Moneypenny, played by Samantha Bond.
Yeah. The only real character moments at the end.
Yeah, because we didn't necessarily get to see too much of Moneypenny in this one.
One of them was a VR simulator.
Yeah,
where she died.
Yeah, oh, I forgot about that part of the whole VR simulator, and I was like, oh crap! Someone just killed Moneypenny. She took a shot to the head. They were not sparing anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, dang. But after finding out VR Simulator, the only time we ever really get to see her again is at the end where she's tying up all the loose ends for MI6, and they really lean into the whole idea that she has the hots for Bond. Which Lois Maxwell played it very... She played it much more sophisticated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was that air of heavy flirting, of a maybe there could be a thing, but at the same time, she knows who James is. So she wouldn't necessarily, try to be in that type of relationship with him, despite the fact that she did shed a tear when Lazenby got married. Mm-hmm. And there was a bit of the same thing, but kind of different with Roger Moore. Mm-hmm. Heck, I even give some credit to Moneypenny during Dalton's run.
Yeah.
Where, there was a bit of there was a bit of flirting.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she made sure to come in clutch. Mm-hmm. Samantha Bond started off fantastic.
Yeah.
This was not the way for her to go out with her run as Moneypenny. This was not. Come on, you're. I understand that you do have a thing for Bond, but be a bit more professional. Mm-hmm. Don't use the MI6 Q branch equipment to have your fling. Mm-hmm. That will never happen. Don't do that. I mean,
yeah.
And plus, you have Moneypenny, yet you don't utilize her as much as you should. I swear. Though, we do have to give it up for Charles Robinson, played by Colin Salmon.
Yeah.
That man actually did have a badass moment during that VR simulator.
Yeah.
Before he gets capped.
Yeah.
You had to do my man's Charles like that. But at least he did get to have an awesome moment. Mm-hmm. I think that's everyone of the main MI6 crew.
Yeah, I think they had like a couple of American allies.
Yes. Damien Falco, played by Michael Madsen. Yeah. He's the superior officer of the NSA.
If we ever discuss Free Willy or the first animated Green Lantern movie, he's in.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I forget, who did he play in Lantern?
He's Kilowog in the animated first Green Lantern movie.
Huh.
Yeah.
See, recurring.
Yeah.
And of course, Mr. Chang, played by Ho Yi.
Yep. He was sad of his son that he thought died. Or was that the other one?
No, that's different.
Yeah.
That's different. He was the guy that was running the hotel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if things had been different...
Yeah, he had the spy camera.
If things had been different, they actually would have had Michelle Yeoh
Yeah.
return for that role. And I think that would have been awesome. That is the proper use of, characters that have worked with Bond. I would like to see more of that, but things fell through.
Let's get to the Bond villains.
Okay. But any Bond film is not complete without a Bond villain. I guess, do we talk about both of them? Which one do I name first? The
first one, yeah.
Colonel Tan Sun Moon, played by Will Yoon Lee,
Yep.
who then evolves into Gustav Graves, played by Toby Stephens.
It was a brief appearance of William Lee, his second time around since the Wolverine.
Yeah. Like I said, continuity.
Only he plays the bad guy, the big bad guy, sort of in the film. Yeah.
Yeah, where
he just uses one of his henchmen as a punching bag.
Literally zipped him up in the freaking heavy bag and just went to town punching and kicking. Which, fantastic use of your martial arts, sir. Fantastic use. But then you end up getting outsmarted by Bond, careening off of a cliff, and we think you die.
Yeah.
Only to then find out you went through DNA. You.
Yeah, this is worse than You Only Live Twice.
Oh yeah. Instead of an Englishman turning into a Chinese man, we see a Korean man turn into an Englishman, and through the use of gene therapy surgery, where they scrape out the bone marrow and replace it with something else, this man went from Korean to English white man.
A rich English white man.
Which, at the same time, this is one of the things from Moonraker of originally in the book, Max Zorin was another man, and he assumed the identity of Max Zorin. Not Max Zorin, Hugo Drax. My apologies. Yeah, Moonraker. The man we think is Hugo Drax met the real Hugo Drax while they were in the military. Yeah. Drax dies. He takes over his identity of Hugo Drax, a la Principal Skinner from Simpsons, when we found out about all that. But this takes that idea and careens out the window, off the cliff, into a dark abyss of suspension of disbelief. I'm willing to take some things. I'm willing to understand some things, give my suspension of disbelief to some things, but this one I could not. I could not. And I know what you're going to say and others. What about Face Off? They only took each other's face, had some things done to their vocal cords to sound like each other, and had their hairline changed. Other than that, you can get away with that. But you literally changed your DNA. Your DNA. I do know gene therapy is a real thing, but it doesn't go that far.
Yeah. Wonder, and it took him a whole year and 2 months to fit in after.
Which makes me wonder, have people only known of Gustav Graves for a year and 2 months, or was there a real Gustav
He
Graves?
killed and replaced him.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering,
Yeah.
and they never explained that.
Yeah.
They never explained that. Because the only way I could see him accumulate all the things that he did as Graves is if there was another Graves.
Mm-hmm.
This man became a billionaire
Yeah.
thanks to diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
Olympic level fencer,
Yeah.
and was knighted by the Queen.
Yeah.
How do you do all that in just 14 months?
Yeah.
There's no way.
No.
But besides that, I do have to give it to Toby Stephens. He did
Yeah.
do a fantastic job as Gustav Graves. This man understood the assignment.
Yeah.
He understood. And a special bonus thing, after this, Toby Stephens would actually voice Bond in some audio dramas. So, hey, he got a promotion.
Yeah.
He understood the assignment. He understands Bond, and he has fun with it.
Yeah.
I do have to say that. He does have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
It just sucks that this was the movie that he got to be the villain for. Though his moments are really good.
Yep.
And do they truly give us a full rundown of why he's done everything he's done?
Not really.
I mean, every Bond villain usually has their monologue of explaining what they're doing. And Gustav did not do that.
No.
Essentially, he was just mainly out for vengeance, money, and potential world domination.
Yeah.
And just decided to rip off Francisco Scaramanga and have a freaking laser,
Yeah.
high-powered laser, but instead of it being on land, it's in space.
Although there's also a side effect of the surgery. He can't sleep.
Yes, just crippling insomnia.
Mm.
So he has to have his own special stasis machine so he can actually sleep. Which, I could not. Oh, Lord. I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him on that front. Though, bro, why'd you have to kill your dad?
Yeah.
I mean, one, nice to see Kenneth Zhang as General
Yeah.
Moon, but the General really didn't do anything really bad.
Yeah.
What was there still some sort of animosity or any?
Yeah.
Maybe it was because of the fact that he wasn't being as vengeful,
Yeah.
or he was trying
Yeah.
to soften
Yeah.
relations with other countries. I guess I can see that, and of course, usually the children of the guy in charge tend to be a bit more
Yeah.
off the loof. So I guess I can see that, but you didn't have to kill him.
Yeah.
That's your dad. And he mourned for you.
Yeah.
He had Bond tortured for you.
Yeah.
And that's how you repay him. Bro. But I mean, your thoughts on Toby Stephens?
Yeah, he did a great job being a psychotic, fake British.
I'm actively seeing your suspension of disbelief fall off the cliff.
And make Sean Connery look like a fake Chinese man. Better. Even though he was the biggest Chinese.
I know. And apparently it only falls off once he swims in the ocean. Which, that's how it did happen in the book. That is how it happened in the book. But this one, oof. But, hey, both actors did the best with what they were given.
Yeah.
Especially Toby Stephens.
Yeah.
I don't know why they had to give him a freaking mech suit in the climax. Mm-hmm. You know, overpowered Beetleborgs looking like suit. I don't understand. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But hey, he had great use of those electrocuting gloves.
Yeah.
But no Bond villain is complete without at least some allies. Do we start with the swerve that didn't turn out to be a swerve?
Yeah.
Miranda Frost, played by Rosamund Pike. She also did the best with what she was given.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that, dear God, how old was she at this time?
22.
She looked like a teenager in the face.
Yeah.
She did not look like a grown woman. That's why when there's that flirting and then the actual sex scene with Bond, it felt too weird to me.
I kind of...
Especially, wasn't Brosnan in his 40s at this point?
I guess so, yeah. Didn't really... I mean, because this is sanitized from all the Bond stuff that I didn't really care all that much about the age thing.
And yes, she is a fully grown, consenting adult, but for some reason, Rosamund Pike just looked too young to me.
Yeah.
And that's weird. I don't know.
She's the one who got help get Bond in prison for being the inside person.
Yeah, she was the mole.
Yeah.
Who then turned out to actually work for MI6, but was a double agent.
Yeah.
MI6 should have a better vetting process than that. But we actually did get to see her do some pretty awesome stuff, mainly the fight with Jinx, where she did have the upper hand, though I know they were trying to go for some sort of symbolism with the whole Art of War stab in the chest, but was there any other time that they referenced the Art of War in the film?
I don't know. It's been a while, so I can't.
I don't know. It maybe I missed it and it flew over my head.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Of course, she lets Bond seduce her so she can unload his weapon.
Yeah, which, hey.
Yeah.
Seen that before with women.
Yeah.
That end up working for the villain.
Yeah.
Use your womanly charms to disarm the guy that's trying to stop the person you're working for.
Yeah.
Which, that is smart. Got to give her credit on that.
Yeah.
I guess now we go into his running buddy back when they were both still Korean.
Well, his surgery wasn't quite ended.
I know he was halfway there.
Yeah.
He looked like an albino
Yeah.
Asian man. Tang Ling Zhao, played by Rick Yoon. I have a feeling like they had a much bigger part for him.
Yeah.
He definitely had that air about being, almost on equal footing with Moon Graves.
Yeah.
But he never really got to move up there.
No, he was just mainly there's the torture, like Jinx.
Yeah. Helping the torturing. Be the guy to trade to North Korea to get Bond back.
Yeah.
And at least one villain has to have some sort of facial scar deformity. So, diamonds in your face. There was so much more they could have done with him.
No.
I actually wouldn't have minded of seeing him become
Yeah.
the white guy that he was supposed to become.
Yeah.
And then Bond have to deal with. But this is getting out of hand.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Lawrence McCoy as Mr. Kill, Graves' henchman. Nice to see, heavy henchman in a suit again.
Yeah.
A bit on the nose of calling him Mr. Kill, but plus, yeah, he actually did have a pretty good fight scene with Bond and Jinx before he's in the running of one of the more gruesome deaths that you see for a henchman.
Yeah.
I mean, he laser back of the head through the mouth. Mm-hmm. And then they took his hand to scan, the security pad. And then dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you have to do him like that? I know he was a villain, but dang. And, I guess as an added bonus, we bring up the woman that is a cameo, but isn't completely a cameo because she does have an extended presence in the scene she's in.
Only in 2 scenes, technically.
Which means not a cameo.
Yeah.
Verity. Graves and Frost's fencing instructor, played by Madonna. The first time where the person who sings the theme song actually has a more involved part in the film.
Yeah.
She's not the first person to sing the theme song to appear in the film. Sheena Easton did that.
Yeah.
Though she mainly stayed in the opening, credits.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, Madonna was here. Did she ask for this?
Probably.
I mean, she did okay. Madonna has proven herself as an actress. It's just kind of weird why she's just there and
just to give exposition and to introduce Bond to the villainous Bond girl
and his first proper meeting of Graves as well.
They have a huge fencing fight, and you get to see his Korean anger get the best of him.
Yeah. And it is weird seeing Pierce Brosnan trying to hit on Madonna.
Yeah.
Though this was was this when Madonna was still kind of the hotness, or was it the decline?
I think we're starting like the beginning of the decline. Because she was married to Guy Ritchie at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess still nothing to completely... It wasn't something to brag about
Yeah.
at that point, but she was still the hotness,
Yeah.
so...
She ends up...
It's before Kabbalah and all the other stuff.
She'll end up singing for another James Bond parody, Austin Powers.
Very true, very true.
With Blue Beautiful Stranger.
Which I think I actually like that song better than the song she did here, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
But the good.
Yeah.
Everyone's acting was still on point.
Yeah.
Major shout-outs to Pierce Brosnan, Toby Stevens, Rosamund Pike, and Halle Berry. They all did the best with what they were given.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot say that they phoned it in. The action was still good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the cold open in North Korea, you know, hover car. The sword fight, well, the fencing sword fight that turns into a real sword fight between Bond and Graves. The climax, as crazy as it gets, is actually pretty good with, you know, mechanized suit Graves versus Bond, while in the other room of the airplane, you have Frost fighting Jinx.
Yeah, of course. Frost doesn't have her top on. Well, she doesn't have her...
Oh, no, she was just in a straight-up bra.
Yeah, she was in a
She
bra.
was in a bra.
Yeah.
I see someone like that. We did also have some nice cameos and callbacks. You know, seeing as though this was the 20th film in the Bond franchise, they decided to do some nice little nods to the whole franchise, such as the airline hostess that Bond gets a drink from as he's going back to England.
Yeah.
Is played by Deborah Moore, Roger Moore's daughter.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. And of course, with it being the 40th, it was also the 40th anniversary of the Bond franchise and film. So, other things such as the Room of Gadgets and Vehicles in Q Branch, where we saw nice little nods to all the various things we have seen in previous Bond films. I think we see the tiny plane Roger Moore.
Yeah.
Roger Moore flew to Scaramanga's island. We see Rosa Kleb's assassin shoe, which, Bond, you shouldn't have been messing with the tip of that. That's poisoned. But then again, it's been years, so who knows? God, what other things did we also see?
The flight.
The jetpack.
Yeah, the jetpack.
We saw the jetpack from Thunderball, which that was nice to see again. There were a number of things in that room that you could actually take a good amount of time and be like, oh, I remember that. Oh, there it is. There it is. I remember that. But it was nice to see.
Yeah.
Of course, a villain have to go through an airplane window after it being broken.
Yeah.
And of course, the airplane just straight up, depressurizing about to crash.
Yeah.
as you do, and having to escape through a road terrain vehicle.
Yep.
Yes. That reminds me of the Living Daylights. British Union Jack parachute used by Graves. While we're hearing London Calling by The Clash, but all I could think of, nobody does it better.
Yeah.
Classic. And of course, Death by Laser. Now, this is a combination of... Oh yeah, also shout out to the gadgets, mainly the window breaking ring. The BMW this time around, it's okay. Why they had to make it invisible, I have no idea. We'll get into that. Now the bad and what.
Yeah.
The plot.
Yeah.
Could have been so much better.
Yeah.
It had some semblance of that it could be a good one, but gene therapy surgery and whatnot fell off a cliff. Yeah. This just makes the whole quote of Albert R. Broccoli saying, "We're not science fiction, we're science fact," all the more hilarious. Oh, God. And how was he able to change his accent so perfectly?
Guess dialect coach or whatever.
But even when he starts speaking Korean, he's still...
Yeah. That's...
Lord have mercy. Yeah, they tried a bit too hard to make Jinx impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't have to show a bond.
Yeah.
Why did he need that exoskeleton mech suit to control the laser? I think that's a bit gratuitous.
Yeah.
And superfluous.
Yeah.
The freaking invisible camouflage on the BMW. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
It was fun at times.
I mean, yeah, it did play a part during some of the action, but for the most part, I thought it was dumb.
Yeah.
All I could think of was the freaking invisible boatmobile from Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy from SpongeBob. Mm-hmm. I mean... And again, Roger Moore made fun of this.
Yep.
It was dumb. It was dumb. Oh, yes. The Ice Palace.
Yeah.
Why do you have it in Iceland? Wouldn't it make more sense to have it in Greenland?
Yeah.
Or was it in Greenland?
I have no idea.
Because they were in an icy area, but also Iceland is also cold, but not as cold.
Yeah.
Why do you have a freaking ice palace? Why is this a thing where you have extravagant parties at? Everyone is going to get cold. And now the big debate.
Yeah.
The theme song. Die Another Day by Madonna.
Personally, I like it. I listened to it on the radio before. But then again, I also didn't really see the movie, so I just enjoyed listening to it on the radio. I only saw parts of the movie, like flipping through. That was about it. I didn't see it all the way through until just now.
Until for our review.
Yeah.
While me, on the other hand, while I don't hate the song.
Yeah.
I do think it is one of the weakest Bond themes. It really is. I mean, this was Madonna during her music era. You know, music makes the people come together. Yeah, so she was doing a lot of electronica during that period of time. Don't ask me how I know these things. I just know a lot of things about music. I'm not a fan of Madonna, but I do like songs by her. Mm-hmm. And I know of the song Music, well, thanks to VH1.
Yeah.
And also, it actually played at my job. Mm-hmm. The song played at my job, which is weird. And this was before we got the new music provider where we've been getting banger after banger.
Yeah.
I don't know. Apparently, they just like Madonna.
Yeah.
So I could. It felt like that meets like a weaker version of the Vogue.
Yeah.
You know, with that analyze this, Sigmund Freud. Why? What does this have to do with Die Another Day? What? I'll give her the opening part of of this song, but as a whole, not a big fan.
Yeah. So, you want to get into the scores?
Yeah.
I give this I'm going to be a little gentle, not too gentle, 7 out of 10.
Explain yourself.
I thought it was okay. Yeah, I thought, like I said, mixed with the terrible plot, there was still some good acting in there, and the action scenes were great. Just the plot itself was terrible.
This isn't Wonder Woman 1984 levels of bad, but this is still pretty weak. And looking back at some of the Bond films that I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of, Diamonds Are Forever, Man with the Golden Gun, looking at both of you, I cannot put this in the same league as those two. This gets a 5.5 out of 10. If there were some elements that were slightly changed or made a bit better, if there was a tighter script, it would make a passing grade, but it does not for me. And this is me putting my nostalgia aside. Because, like I said, this is my first Bond film I ever saw. So, yeah.
If you disagree, find us on. Tell us what your thoughts are. Go find us on Facebook, The Real Screen Team. Where else?
You can also find us on Reddit, Instagram, and TikTok.
For now.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And make sure to go to our YouTube channel and like, comment, share our videos, and definitely subscribe to this channel if you're new here.
Yes, as we're still trying to grow, reach 500 subscribers. Once we do that, we can get monetization for our videos, and we will either Patreon or some other Patreon-esque site where we will give you all the opportunity to give us some viewer suggestions or requests. And we'll also make some videos exclusively for Patreon.
Before we go, we're do our last video for Pierce Brosnan with our usual conclusion video.
Yes,
as we rank the movies from best to worst.
Rank our favorite gadgets, our favorite Bond girls, our favorite villains.
Yeah.
And, end end this package with a very nice bow.
Yeah. So, want to roll us out?
Well, sure. Well, thank you all for watching. Definitely come back and watch us again. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, and click the post notification bell so you're updated with all of our upcoming videos. Well, cut, print, that's a wrap.
I'm gonna wake up, yes and no. I'm gonna kiss some part of I'm gonna keep this secret. I'm gonna close my body now.